Welcome to your Science and Math Masterclass preparation session. Today, we are diving deep into reaction mechanisms and calculus fundamentals, and by the end of this lesson, you are going to walk away with complete clarity on these topics. So, let's get started. First, we will explore organic chemistry, specifically nucleophilic substitution reactions. We will focus on the critical differences between SN1 and SN2 pathways. We will also examine carbocation stability and stereochemistry, which are essential for predicting the exact products of these chemical reactions. After mastering the chemistry, we will shift gears into mathematics. We will connect definite integrals directly to antiderivatives, bridging the gap between two major concepts. To visualize this, we will review Riemann sums and area functions, showing how accumulating infinitely small slices gives us an exact area. Finally, this all culminates in the fundamental theorem of calculus, the crown jewel of calculus I, that ties differentiation and integration together perfectly. Let's break down the core differences between our two nucleophilic substitution reactions. First, let's look at kinetics. SN1 is unimolecular, meaning the reaction rate depends only on the concentration of the substrate. SN2 is bimolecular, so its rate depends on both the substrate and the nucleophile. Next, consider the reaction steps. SN1 happens in two distinct steps, forming a carbocation intermediate in the middle. SN2, on the other hand, is a concerted one-step process where bonds break and form simultaneously. This leads us to stereochemistry. Because SN1 forms a flat carbocation, the nucleophile can attack from either side, leading to racemization. SN2 requires a backside attack, resulting in a complete inversion of configuration. Finally, look at substrate preference. SN1 favors tertiary substrates because they form the most stable carbocations. SN2 strongly favors methyl and primary substrates because there is less steric hindrance blocking that crucial backside attack. Keep this table in mind for your exams. Now, let's visualize the exact pathway of an SN1 reaction step by step. We begin with a tertiary substrate. This bulky molecule is perfectly suited for this pathway because of what happens next. In the first rate-determining step, the leaving group departs on its own. This is a slow process that requires energy, but it is absolutely crucial. Once the leaving group is gone, we are left with a carbocation intermediate. Because the original substrate was tertiary, this carbocation is highly stable. It is also planar, meaning it is completely flat. Now the nucleophile enters the picture. Because the intermediate is flat, the nucleophile can attack from either the top face or the bottom face with equal probability. As a result of this dual-sided attack, we end up with racemic products. You get a roughly 50-50 mixture of both stereoisomers. Understanding this step-by-step flow is the key to mastering unimolecular substitution reactions. Now, let's transition from the microscopic world of chemistry to the abstract beauty of calculus. Imagine a smooth, sweeping curve plotted on a graph. If you want to find the exact area trapped between that curve and the horizontal axis, how do you do it? Historically, mathematicians used Riemann sums. They would draw vertical rectangles under the curve and add their areas together. But rectangles are blocky, and they leave tiny gaps or stick out over the edge. The magic happens when you make those rectangles infinitely thin. As the number of rectangles approaches infinity, the jagged edges smooth out completely. The sum of these infinitely thin slices gives you the exact, perfect area under the curve. This concept of infinite accumulation is what we call a definite integral. But calculating this manually by adding infinite slices is incredibly tedious. Fortunately, there is a mathematical shortcut that changes everything, and it bridges the gap between derivatives and integrals. This brings us to the fundamental theorem of calculus, the most important rule in calculus I, Part 1 of the theorem defines the area function. It states that if you take the derivative of an integral from a constant to a variable x, you simply get the original function back. This proves that differentiation and integration are inverse operations. They undo each other. Part 2 is the practical tool you will use every day. It tells us that to evaluate a definite integral from a to b, you do not need to add up infinite rectangles. Instead, you just find the antiderivative, plug in the upper limit b, and subtract the value at the lower limit. Here, capital F represents that antiderivative. This means that the derivative of capital F gives you back your original lowercase f function. This elegant theorem turns complex area calculations into simple algebraic evaluations. Let's put the theorem into practice with a concrete example. We want to evaluate the definite integral of the function 2x, bounded between x equals 1 and x equals 3. This represents the exact area under the line y equals 2x on that specific interval. According to the fundamental theorem, our first job is to find the antiderivative of 2x. Using the reverse power rule, we add 1 to the exponent and divide, which simply gives us x squared. This is our capital F of x. Next, we apply part 2 of the theorem. We take our antiderivative and evaluate it at the upper limit, 3, and subtract the value at the lower limit, 1. So, we set up 3 squared minus 1 squared. Finally, we just do the basic arithmetic. 3 squared is 9, and 1 squared is 1. 9 minus 1 leaves us with exactly 8. The exact area under that curve is 8 square units. Let's pause for a quick knowledge check to see what you remember from the first half of our masterclass. Here is your question. Which of the following statements is true regarding the SN2 reaction mechanism? Option A says it proceeds via a carbocation intermediate. Option B says it results in a complete inversion of stereochemistry. Option C says it is a unimolecular reaction. And option D says it favors tertiary substrates. Take a moment, think back to our comparison table, and pick your answer. The correct answer is B. Remember, SN2 is a concerted, one-step process that requires a backside attack by the nucleophile. This backside attack pushes the other groups like an umbrella flipping in the wind, resulting in a complete inversion of stereochemistry. The other options describe the SN1 pathway. Let's lock in today's concepts with a rapid active recall session. First prompt. The SN1 reaction rate depends only on the concentration of the blank. Think about the kinetics. The answer is the substrate. It is unimolecular. Next, the definite integral calculates the exact blank under a curve. Visualize those Riemann sums. The answer is area. It gives us the precise area. Final prompt. Integration and differentiation are blank operations according to the fundamental theorem. They are inverse operations. They perfectly undo each other. And that wraps up everything you need to know about reaction mechanisms and calculus fundamentals for your science and math masterclass journey. You now understand both complex organic pathways and the core theorem of calculus. In our next class, we will be moving on to advanced integration techniques and elimination reactions, so make sure you stay tuned. Finally, visit Examiva's AI Studio to automate your training modules.